I've gone through 7 dog attacks. I'm here to help you now, to learn how to defend yourself and to defend your dog from dogs being off leash and attacking you or your dog while you're on a walk, from personal experience. Hi guys, my name is Eddie, and I'm making this video as a service to the community, wherever you might be. I do not have any financial interests in the dog training world. Yes, I've learned dog training for myself and for my dog specifically. I don't do it in any way as a professional dog trainer. I also don't train other dogs. By the way, I train humans, if anything. I want to give you a little bit of knowledge how to take care of yourself when you're on a walk and you have either a big dog or a small dog and they're on leash, and you might meet a big or a smaller dog off leash running up to you. What do you do then? Just as background, besides being an entrepreneur and a businessman for 40 years, I'm also an 8th degree black belt in one of the most extreme combat-oriented martial arts in the world. I teach martial arts, not as a living. I do it voluntary for many years. So, why am I saying this? Because my background is coming from the fighting arts. I'm not afraid of fights. I'm against any type of violence. And I always say, if there is a threat of violence, run. Get out of there. Do not get into a fight at all costs. However, sometimes things are not in your control and you have no option. I own a Belgian Malinois cross. He's crossed with a German Shepherd. His name is Milo. He's a big male dog. He's not castrated. He's a great dog with human beings. Unbelievable. But when it comes to other dogs, I don't know. Every dog wants to fight him. And he's not a sucker. My wife brought him home from the pound the day he was supposed to be put down. He was 8 months in a crate. Nobody took him out. He didn't have a name, nothing. He's been with us since the age of maybe 10 months. We took him as a foster family because we have another small dog, a Shih Tzu, and we fell in love with him. I had him trained, and then I learned training in order to train him. Now, why am I telling you all this? Since he's been with me, Milo is never off leash unless it's a place, I have a special place with lots of gardens and everything, and I have a vantage point where I can see 360 degrees if any human being or dog is approaching from at least a half a mile away. He has, not perfect, no dog has perfect recall, but I use an e-collar. He has terrific recall even without the e-collar. The moment I spot a dog from a half a mile away, I call Milo, I put him on leash. Now, I've been in 7 dog fights, including myself being attacked physically in 3 of them. Small dogs and big dogs. And all those dogs who attacked Milo or myself were off leash, including small dogs, like a Jack Daniel. A Jack Daniel jumped on Milo, and Milo had him by the throat, and I knew what I was doing, and I put my hand in his mouth, in Milo's mouth, in order to open it, because he would have killed the Jack Daniel. And the same thing I also had with a beagle, also males. A beagle came up one night to my dog. I scared him away, and he came back a few minutes later, and he attacked Milo, and Milo had him by the throat. I had both of them in a suplex. I threw them. I thought the beagle was dead. And I learned a lot from that. However, we were attacked twice by a big German Shepherd, but that's not the main thing. And also by a pit bull. Now, what do you do in order to defend yourself or your dog? And it doesn't matter what size dog you have, because If you have a large dog, you don't want any of them, not your dog and not the attacking dog, to be cut up, because there's going to be lots of damage. And we love dogs. And if it's a smaller dog coming up to your dog, you don't want the small dog being killed. And if you have a small dog, sometimes it's going to be too late. Things happen in an instant. So the best thing is, and this I'm really serious about, awareness. You have to be constantly scanning what's going on. If you go into an outdoor cafe, your dog is on leash, you better be scanning the tables, seeing if there's no dogs around, seeing if there's not a dog walking around off leash. If you walk into a park, I never take Milo into a dog park. Never. I'm totally against it. However, if you go into any park and you're there on a stroll and things are fantastic, you never know when an off-leash dog might run up to you or your dog. You have to be constantly aware. Awareness is the number one most important thing in self-defense and in defense of our dogs. If you see a dog that's off-leash, my advice to you is to turn around and go back to where you came from. Don't play the righteous game. Yes, you're allowed to go everywhere with your dog on leash. I know, I agree with you. However, if there's a dog off leash, with the owner or without the owner, you might be right in going past that dog. But in the end, you might get yourself into a dog fight and there'll be terrible damage. And so what if you're right? It's better to be smart than to be right. So the first most important thing is to have awareness. And if you see any dog off leash, go back in the direction you're coming from. Try not to make eye contact and try to move away as quick as possible. That's number one. Number two, if you are approached or approaching an owner with his dog on leash, and it's a big dog, I would suggest to you to step aside, break direction, go to the next pavement, go to the other side of the sidewalk, cross the street. I'm not talking about a small dog. I'm talking about if you have a small dog or even a big dog, and coming towards you is a big monster, or even a dog the size of your dog, make sure you have a lot of distance between you and the other dog, no matter that they're on leash. I was attacked a few months ago. My knee is still healing, by the way, by maybe a 75 or 80, maybe an 80-pound Belgian Malinois, a male, very aggressive. And I had my distance because I went through another attack before that. I kept my distance. The dog was so aggressive, and my dog started barking because the other dog was barking. That dog broke from the leash of the owner. The owner couldn't hold him. And he jumped me and Milo, and it happened so quick, I couldn't even reach for the pepper spray that I carry in my pocket. And I'll get the pepper spray in a moment. I was fighting physically the dog on the ground. He was locked onto my dog. He bit me. I wound it up scraped and bloodied. It wasn't so nice. In the end, I think I got more damage than both of those dogs. But I learned one thing, and that's why I say, if you see somebody approaching you with a big dog on leash, especially if it's an aggressive dog, don't start thinking, I'm going to move a little bit to the side. Go to the other side of the street. Go to the other side of the sidewalk or the pavement. Don't even think about it. Put a lot of distance between you and the owner of that other dog with the other dog. That's number two. Keep your distance. Now, I want to tell you another story about physically being attacked by another Belgian male Malinois. A week after I was attacked by this big Belgian Malinois, I came from a cafe with my dog, and we were walking, and I saw in the distance, not far away, a guy with another Belgian Malinois off leash. I yelled to him nicely, very politely. I said, bro, can you have the dog on leash so we can pass, please? Very politely. He said, nah, it's no problem. The dog's trained. Look, down. The dog went down. I said to myself, Eddie, again, smart. Don't be right, be smart. And that's where I made my mistake. Today, I would have reversed and gone back where I came from, no matter what. Then, I said to myself, be smart, don't be right. So I crossed the street to the other side of the pavement. But looking at the dog to make sure that nothing is happening, I always leave the house with my dog. In my pocket, I have pepper spray, which is legal in my country. It's legal in my country. It saved my life that day. It saved my life with another pit bull, and it saved my life with another German Shepherd. However, I crossed the street, and I'm looking at the dog, and all of a sudden the dog breaks from his down position and runs barking towards us, trying to attack. I was ready. I kept Milo behind me on a short leash, my right hand forward with the pepper spray, going from bottom up. I hit him with the pepper spray. Now, I don't know if you know this, but pepper spray doesn't work on all dogs, and it doesn't work 100%. In other words, dogs don't feel pepper spray as we humans do, just so you know that. The dog backed down, circled around, and came back, attacked again. Again, I hit him with the pepper spray, holding Milo behind me. It's my job to protect my dog, not my dog to protect me. Hit him with the pepper spray. The dog backed off. The owner went crazy. He started screaming and shouting and cursing his son of a bitch. He pulled out his phone, started filming me. How dare you pepper spray my dog? I'm going to kill you. Come here, let's see you, big shot. Filming me, coming towards me. I'm walking backwards. And he's approaching me, screaming. He lost his mind. And he starts screaming to the dog, attack, attack, attack. The dog attacked me again and again and again. At least, I think it was at least 7 or 8 times. Each time I hit him with the pepper spray. During that time, the owner there was a lot right next to the street. He went over, picked up a brick, threw it at us, then started throwing rocks. At that moment, again, listen, guys, I want to say something. My whole life I'm in the martial arts. I deal with violence. I'm against violence. And like I told you in the beginning, never get into a fight. I don't believe that violence is in any way we're able to solve situations. However, there are times in which you have no choice. And at that moment, when he's throwing the rocks, he's screaming, the dog is coming back, attacking in again and again. I knew one thing. My life is in danger. My dog is also in danger. But he can deal with the other dog. Okay, so it's 2 dogs going at it. They're both going to be ripped up. What do? And really quickly, everything went through my mind, and I knew that if I stand my ground, I'm going to have to let Milo loose to take care of the dog. And that guy who's attacking me, my life is threatening my life. I'm going to have to defend myself. And just so you know, I teach special units all kinds of form of not only self-defense, if you understand what I mean. I knew one thing. I probably, in 1 or 2 shots, I would break his trachea. I would break his windpipe. I'm trained for that. And if I'm in a fight, there's no more thinking. Then I act. And I knew. And this is in a split second. I'm not asking you to believe me. That's okay. I don't care. Everything went through my head at that moment. And I knew I'm going to find myself in jail for 20 years. Who's going to believe me? Nobody. And even if they do believe me, okay, manslaughter, I'll get out after 10 years, 12 years. Who's going to take care of my dog, my family? What's going to be? All for what? And at that moment, I made a decision, in a split-second decision, to take Milo and run. And that's what I did. I ran and ran and ran with the guy behind me, throwing rocks, yelling at the dog to attack me. And I managed to get into a hotel in the area after maybe a half a mile running. And he ran up to the hotel with his dog off leash, trying to get into the hotel until the cops came. Now, why am I telling you this? Because there are times when you don't have a choice. And from that fight, I learned two things. Never, ever, ever leave the house with my dog without pepper spray, not in the bag, in my pocket. And if I see a dog from afar who's even on leash and I have nowhere to go, I always have my hand in my pocket, not in any threatening way, nobody sees it, but I have my hand on the pepper spray. Because if things happen, they happen so quick that if you're not trained, you don't even know how to react. So I'm a little bit more trained than most people, so I know how to react. But if you are not trained, you're gonna get flustered. You might even become panicked, and you forget about the pepper spray. So first thing, have pepper spray in your pocket, not in your purse. And by the way, I think every woman, if they're walking around alone, especially at night in any area, should have pepper spray not in the purse, in her pocket. You never know. And like I said, awareness. So pepper spray, I think, is the number one guarantee against really getting into real bad trouble. But like I said, pepper spray is not 100%. And I know that there are countries in which they outlawed pepper spray. I would like to say very, very clearly, you must go and obey the laws of wherever you live. I am all for law enforcement in that. I myself know how to fight with a knife. I know how to fight with a stick. It's not legal where I live to carry a stick, a baton. It's not legal to carry a knife. So I don't carry them. Pepper spray, though, is legal, and I don't leave the house without pepper spray. It can really, really save your life. However, from my attack with that big dog before that, and from the attacks I've gone through before also, knowing that pepper spray is not the ultimate self-defense tool, where it's legal, I would suggest, and in my country it's legal, to walk around with an electric shocker, like a taser, but like a shocker. If it's allowed in your country. It's allowed where I live. I carry it in a small pouch, which is very easy to reach. And it happened a while ago. I saw a dog, a big dog, off leash, and the dog I saw caught Milo and I in his eye. And I, without thinking, I turned around and got out of there really quick. But I saw the dog right away, like moving towards us from afar. I had my pepper spray in the hand. I also had the electric shocker in the other hand on the leash, ready if I need it. Now the thing is that the electric shocker, it's very, very close quarter. You have to have proximity to the dog. And now I want to tell you something. For all the people who are thinking, oh my God, Eddie is so cruel. How could he even think about that? Let me tell you something. You know what's cruel? Cruel is to let I have a small Shih Tzu at home. If I walk her, what's cruel is to let a dog off leash who's aggressive come up to us and have her in his mouth in a half a second. And that's the end of her life. I have to fight for my dog's lives. You have to fight for your dog's lives. And you know what? It's better to hit an aggressive dog who's attacking you with an electric shock which will not kill him. It'll stun him. But that's much better than having one dog killed, whether it's that dog or the other dog. Think of it this way. If you're a surgeon, you need to cut your patient up to save their lives. And just so you know, many, many years ago, before the use of anesthesia, they used to do surgery without anesthesia. Maybe giving brandy, putting a cloth in the mouth, and the surgeon then had to cut his patient open to save their lives, and you see that on the battlefield sometimes. So it's not a matter of liberal or not liberal. It's not a matter of cruel, not cruel. It's a matter of basic understanding and awareness of what goes on in life. We have to protect our family. We have to protect ourselves. Our dogs are part of our family. And if you have another dog who's a big dog and you have a big dog and your dog is being attacked by a big dog, both those dogs are going to be in terrible, terrible pain afterwards. There's going to be so much damage. Why should we allow it? We should use every tool that we have that's legal in order to prevent that, whether it's pepper spray or whether it's an electric shocker. And again, like I say, provided that it's legal. So guys, like I said, the only reason I'm doing this video is to give value to the canine community. I've been trained by one of the top trainers in the world in the States personally, and that's how I know how to train my dog today. I have no interest whatsoever of promoting dogs on my channel here on YouTube. And the only thing that I do ask from you is to listen and think about what I said with an open mind. Because just for your information, I'm a liberal. And I love people, I love dogs, I love animals, I love our planet. And my work today is helping others. But like I said, in order to do that, we have to help ourselves and our family and make sure that none of us are harmed. So thanks for watching. God bless you. And I only pray one thing, that you should never, ever find yourself in that kind of situation and never be put to the test.